Hi there, my name is Sarah Berry and I am the owner and founder of Marketing Sense. I had decided to put together a video series, 7 videos in 7 days, and the goal of this video series is to help you, the business owner, build your marketing capability and feel more confident about marketing your business. The reason I'm doing this is because I believe that building sustainable strategies to generate awareness, demand and sales is fundamental to business success. In today's video, I am joined by Jenny De Lacy from the Visibility Coach, and Jenny has got 7 questions for me. Haven't you, Jenny?
I have, and thank you so much for having me. It's a really good opportunity to pick your marketing brain, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for joining me. So tell me a bit about what you do in the Visibility Coach.
So for 3 years now, I've been focusing on educating businesses to use video to grow their profile and their people and their profit. And that has morphed from entrepreneurs and camera confidence into a deeper piece around where does video fit in your overarching digital strategy and what are the core messages that you really need to share to stand out in the marketplace, particularly for founders of businesses who are a big part of the delivery of the service and product of their business.
Okay, great. All right, so Jenny, can you shoot your first question at me then, please?
Yes, my very first question is, why do I need a marketing strategy? In the sense that there's so much information out there, can't I just sort of kick off without doing all that research?
Yeah, okay. Interestingly, without one, I think that you'll actually waste time, probably more importantly, money. So for me, through my 25 odd years of experience working in marketing, I've actually been able to compress the key components of a marketing strategy into a few key areas, which depending on the business can actually be developed in a day. So it's not actually as time consuming as a lot of small businesses think. And so I believe that really you're going to save yourself time and you're going to save yourself money. So it's much better to spend potentially a couple of thousand on knowing how and where to market for some immediate wins rather than just spraying and praying.
Yeah. And so in that case, where do I start? What's your sort of recommended first step in it all?
So it's a good idea to probably think about having an actual really clear goal. So most of us in our businesses have some kind of business problem that we're trying to solve. And if you start by turning that actually into a measurable objective, then you can really start developing your strategy from there. If that makes sense? Yeah?
Yeah, it does. For me, it would be, a certain type of work every week. And maybe that's a monetary figure, but certainly it's the type of client for me too that is the measure.
Yeah, definitely. The actual target market and who you're marketing to is really important as well in terms of keeping your marketing budget cost effective. So yeah, that's all the integral parts, all the bits and pieces that go to making a good marketing strategy. Yeah,
that's
okay.
A good segue into my next question, which is really about how to know what the marketing budget should be. Somebody asked me that yesterday, what's your marketing budget? And I'm like, I don't know. So I think when businesses are starting out, I've got an idea now because I've been around for a little while, but I think it's a really common question, like how much should people budget for their marketing? Yeah,
it is a really, really common question, and one that I ask and am asked as well. So it does, I mean, like you said, you've been in business for 3 years, so it does depend actually where you are at in the life cycle of your business. As a bit of a ballpark percentage, we might generally say in an established business, a rough amount would be between 5 and 10% of your revenue. For a small business, probably more closer to 5 to 7. But that said, I think probably a much better way and a more accurate way of working out your budget is actually to determine how much each of your clients are worth to you. So where we start with that is actually looking at the lifetime value of each customer and then working out how much each actual lead is worth to you. I'll actually put a link to a step-by-step blog which you can follow to work this out in the comments section as part of this. So it's actually in the blog, I do break down step by step like how you actually work this equation out and come to a monetary figure. So yeah, check out the blog.
No, thanks for that. My mind immediately goes to tactics because that's sort of the way I'm wired, I think. So I just want to get stuff done.
Yeah.
The life, cycle money thing actually makes me glaze over. Whereas having a tactic and a step is a really typical thing for me to sort of jump to. Is that sort of common? What's your answer to that one?
Absolutely, that is really, really common, and that in many ways is kind of why I've done this video series, is to kind of explain why in many ways that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. And yes, sure, we all do want to jump to tactics, but really the best way of approaching this is to make your strategy have a tactical outcome. So I call this actually a stractical approach. This is actually like a word I've coined myself, with a system that I've developed for small businesses that want to jump to tactics but really need the strategy in order to get it right. So usually a business wants to affect behavior in some form or another, right? So to get more leads, to make my existing clients spend more with me, to raise my profile or my brand awareness. One thing I do know from my work with small businesses is that they want it yesterday. And so for sure, there are plenty of businesses that promise that they can deliver that. I'm sure everyone's come across them. But I'm actually yet to meet one that has achieved this actual being able to deliver something really, really quickly that gets where...
Quick win.
There's no quick win. So I guess what I'm highlighting here is that there is no magical fairy dust. There are very few quick wins. Building a solid marketing strategy and plan does take time and effort. And you need to monitor and evaluate what you're doing. But I think what I wanted to highlight here more than anything, and this is the bit that a lot of small business owners miss, is that marketing is actually a business process. It's not sort of something that you add on at the end, which is kind of where a lot of our small business mindsets can be. So back to my point, really, unless you have deep pockets, I would advise not jumping straight in. So whilst running Google AdWords campaign or social media advertising may seem on the surface to be a quick, easy win, I can assure you from my many years of experience that it really isn't.
Oh, that's really interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I like what you do, because the step-by-steps are part of your strategy. You're not just sort of paying it lip service. You're actually, it becomes a plan, which I love. And so, when we talk about value proposition comes up a lot, and it's a bit jargony. I'm not quite sure how to articulate what that really means. What do you mean by value when you talk about value proposition for most of your clients?
Yeah, I'm guilty of this, Jenny. Actually, I do it a lot, and I talk about value proposition, and I say it to my small business clients, and I must stop doing it because I do see the eyes kind of glaze over, and it says, what are you talking about? So that your product or service is wanted by the marketplace and is attractive. It's the why your prospect will buy from you. So it's the problem that you solve, or how your product or service is relevant, and why you are better than the competition. So sometimes this can be complex to determine. And frankly, if you get your value proposition wrong, things can get really ugly. So I've seen businesses that have spent tens of thousands marketing a product that does not have the solid value proposition. There's no demand for it in the marketplace as such, in the way that they fashioned it. Okay, so or the other thing I see happening a lot is value being marketed but not delivered on. So that's a slightly different thing. So it's more like, does your offering actually live up to the marketing message and the promise? Because if it doesn't, you'll find that you may get a few sales, but quickly that will start to fall off because your offering needs to live up to your marketing message and your promise. So that's kind of like the old lipstick on a pig moment. So you can have the most advanced copy, beautiful imagery, finely targeted Facebook campaign, but if your offer, the value that you bring to the customer isn't right, your campaign isn't going to be successful.
And this is a really big problem because, and I know you're answering this question in another video by itself because it's such an important question. And I think from my perspective, that understanding that the value actually has legs, the things that you have decided to go into business about, that you are really competent at, you've got really mad skills in, how do you actually know that the market needs it? And I know that's a really big question, but is there a way that you can answer that quickly? Or
there is actually a way, and it's actually called a value proposition design process. So I've got a couple of clients that I'm actually doing this with at the moment, that have actually just come to me with a business idea, and then we work through that value proposition design process. So it's who is the customer, who is the market, and really it's actually about doing this without spending any money. Quite often what I get is a business will come to me and say, I want to do the website for the thing. Whereas I'll say, no, let's not do the website. Let's just firstly, even just build a landing page that we might drive people to when we've had a conversation with them to test the offering that we're putting out into the market. So it's about actually looking to see if there is a need for the product or service in the market, and then testing it really, really cost effectively.
Wow, and so I don't know anyone who's actually done that. I can be perfectly honest with you, since 2001 or whenever I first went into business for myself, I don't believe I've ever seen anyone test well enough, particularly when they're solos. Like me, we just assume we've got skills, we're gonna find business that's gonna work. So that is amazing. So again, it's a long game. It's not a tedious long game, just it takes time to get it right, and then it'll pay dividends as well.
Absolutely, but you know, as a business owner anyway, everything takes time, doesn't it? So I guess the strategic planning process is actually measured, and you're watching what you're doing, and so you're actually really aware of your process and how you're affecting it by whatever it is that you're doing or changing. I guess, yeah.
Well, thank you. They are my 7 questions.
Gosh, we answered 7 questions already. Wow, we missed that.
I really appreciate that insight. It's really worth, these conversations are really worthwhile, and I hope people that might stumble across what we've talked about today can really get some value out of your blog and out of reaching out to you when they really need some help.
Yeah, good. Okay. So thank you very much, Jenny, for joining me. I really, really appreciate your time. And I just will quickly end up by saying, okay, so this has been actually inspired by Jenny. So thank you for pushing me to do these 7 videos in 7 days. So as part of this, we're also encouraging people that are watching the videos to jump on to Google. If you Google Marketing Sense and 7-Day Marketing Challenge, you will come across my website. Sign up to the challenge. It's free. So there you go. So thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, Jenny. And we'll see you around. Thank you. Bye.